Today we're going to discuss about gray hair. What are the causes of premature gray hair? What are the treatment options? How can you prevent premature graying? Premature graying of the hair is defined as going gray before the age of 20 in Caucasians or before the age of 30 in African Americans. African Americans go gray later on in life, and the reason for that is some differences in the biology of melanin. Somewhere around 30% of all people will have 50% of their hair be gray by the age of 50. Why some people go gray early in life as opposed to later in life is not clearly understood. It's largely thought to be due to your genetics, and also some environmental influences as well. Let's see how hair gets its normal pigmentation. Just as in the skin, the hair follicle causes some cells called melanocytes that make pigment. The pigment is called melanin. Those melanocytes, just as they do in skin, pass that pigmentation onto the neighboring cell around them, and that leads to hair color. In the case of hair, the melanocytes pass the pigment onto the surrounding hair keratinocytes, and that causes hair color. Pigment production in our hair coincides only during anagen or growth phase. The club roots of the shed hairs are always unpigmented or gray color. Melanocyte stem cells reside in hair follicle bulge area. Upon new hair cycle, melanocyte stem cells produce new hair follicle with a pigmented shaft. Pyranosinase is the key rate-limiting enzyme in this process. Defect in melanin synthesis can give rise to gray hair. Let's see what are the common mechanisms for gray hair. Loss of melanocytes or failure to differentiate, migration defects, melanocyte apoptosis, pigmentary malfunctions, Anagen or growth phase defects, oxidative stress, and free radical accumulation leads to oxidative damage. Above all, probably the process that is most well studied that explains graying of the hair is the generation of something called the active oxygen species. Reactive oxidant species oxidization is a phenomenon that is occurring all the time, and our bodies has systems in place to cope with it. What it is the generation of damaging oxygen radicals that damage DNA damaged proteins in the body. They damaged all sorts of molecules and things that are trying to do their thing. Reactive oxygen species regeneration is responsible for not only aging our hair through premature graying. The generation of reactive oxygen species in the hair melanocytes is the cell that makes hair color. Generation of reactive oxygen species rendering that self-fragile leads you to graying of the hair. So, the cell needs to have a good antioxidant system in place to cope with that. There are free radicals that are generated as a result of our environment UV exposure. This is probably one of the key causes of free radical generation. Not only UV exposure, but also pollution, environmental stressors, and also psychological stress. We have psychological studies, and people correlate a bounce in psychological stress, emotional stress, with premature graying of the hair. Vitamin deficiencies, most notably vitamin B12 deficiency, has been associated with premature graying of a hair. Not only vitamin B12 deficiency, but other vitamin mineral deficiencies cause gray hair. But having gray hair does not mean you're vitamin deficient. But in situations where there is a vitamin deficiency, you might be more likely to experience premature graying of the hair. Apart from that, copper deficiency can also manifest as gray hair. Thyroid disease is also associated with premature graying of the hair. Thyroid hormones actually tell our melanocytes to make pigment. So when those hormones are low, as in the disease hypothyroidism, there is an association with premature graying of the hair. Medications can also affect hair color and the susceptibility of those pigment-producing cells to oxidative during certain chemotherapy medications. Another strong association with premature graying of hair is smoking. Smoking is probably one of the worst things. It is better to quit smoking if you have premature gray hair. Premature graying of the hair is very closely related to chronic diseases. Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease in which your immune system attacks these pigment-producing melanocyte cells, and the presentation of that disease is white patches on the skin and loss of color and white streaks in the hair. Diseases affecting protein absorption from your gut, like kwashiorkor and celiac disease, can manifest as premature graying. Let's see what you can do to minimize gray hair. As a preventative measure against premature graying of the hair, a very popular idea is to consider taking nutritional supplements. Vitamins, supplements, minerals, and that sort of thing may be beneficial in case like B12 deficiency, folate deficiency, or micronutrient things like copper deficiency. Also, B12, folate, and other micronutrients may be indicated following certain lab studies depending on your history that you give your doctor. You can have a healthy diet that gives you antioxidants and nutrients as well. This is the best option in most cases. Stop eating junk foods. From a medical perspective, if a patient presents with this early graying of the hair, it's not unusual or unreasonable to consider checking the thyroid because hypothyroidism is pretty common and is a treatable medical condition with thyroid replacement. Shampoos and conditioners don't prevent graying. The melanocytes, the cells that make the hair color, live deep down and within your scalp that shampoo can't reach. Adapting some healthy lifestyle behaviors to cope with stress in order to manage stress are relaxation, taking a walk, that sort of thing, getting good sleep, and then not smoking because smoking ages everything, including your hair, so don't smoke. If all these options fail, the last option is to go for hair coloring. I hope you won't experience this prematurely. I hope this video is helpful to you guys to preventing or reversing premature graying of the hair. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye!